you're listening to this recording and it is for you, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please, please, please ensure that you are learning. So question 41, the table shows the frequency distribution of the marks a student obtained on a test. How often did the student score 5 marks? So we have 3 columns, mark, frequency, and mark times frequency. We have the total for what the mark times frequency is, which is 49. So we can solve for y, which is the missing number in that column, and find what the digit is. So it will be 49 equal to 2 plus 6 plus 15 plus 16 plus y. The 49 is equal to 39 plus y, and solving for y, so it will be 49 minus 39 equal y. So therefore 10 is equal to y. So we now have what the value for y is. So now we can use the last row, 5 for the mark, x for the frequency, and y, which is 10 for the mark time frequency. So it would be, so it's mark times the frequency equal to mark times frequencies, and we have the mark, which is 5, multiplied by the frequency, which is x, and we have the mark times frequency, which is 10, which is the y that we found. Therefore x is equal to 10 divided by 5, and x is equal to 2. So therefore our answer for 41 is A, which is the number 2. 42. The bar chart above shows the number of books read by the children who took part in a survey. How many children took part in the survey? So always remember, guys, you're not counting the bars to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not it. You will be looking at what number of children the bars correspond with, that is on the y-axis over here. So it will be equal to 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 5 plus 1, and that would be equal to 15. So our answer for 42 is B. We're coming along nicely. 43. The length of 30 cabbage leaves were measured to the nearest centimeter, and the information grouped as shown in the table above. The class boundaries are, so remember that class boundaries are the end points of the class interval. So what they give for the length of the leaf are the class interval, which is 10 to 14, 15 to 19, 20 to 24. So we're looking for the class boundaries, which are the end points. And remember, these are, it is usually 0.5 less than or 0.5 greater than what the class intervals are. So in this case, our answer for 43 is D, and that is our answer. 44. The pie chart above shows the preference in drinks of a group of students. If 12 students prefer chocolate, then the total number of students is. So it is angles on a straight line measures 180. This is also work in detail in the 2005 and 2013 paper. So angle on a straight line measures 180 degrees. So it is 180 degrees minus 120 to give us 60 degrees. So therefore the missing angle for chocolate is 60 degrees. So therefore 12 students correspond to 60 degrees, and we are looking for how much students took part in the entire survey, which is 360 degrees for the entire circle. So we're cross multiplying to solve what x is. So it is 360 multiplied by 12, and all of that is divided by 60. So x is equal to 72 students. So 16 to itself was 1 time, 16 to 360 goes 6 times, and 6 times 12 gave us 72. So our answer for 44 is B. So to 45, a boy throws a die twice. What is the probability that you will get a 3 followed by an even number? So the probability of throwing a 3 on the first time throws a die. So it's 1 3 on the die. So it is 1 divided by the number of chances, which is 6, as there are 6 different numbers on the dice. And then the probability of getting an even number. So even number would be, or even numbers would be 2, 4, and 6. So that is 3. So the probability of getting an even number is 3 divided by the entire dice, which is 6. And you can simplify this fraction to get a half. So it is 3 into 3 into itself 1 time, 3 into 6 goes 2 times. And because the events are independent of each other, it becomes 1 over 6 multiplied by 1 over 2. And that would equal to 1 times 1, 1, and 6 times 2 to give us 12. So our answer is 1 over 12. And that is our answer, a final answer. 46. The diagram above describes the relationship, so we're trying to complete this statement. So A says x is a factor of y, so we can look, is x a factor of y? So 2 is indeed a factor of 8, and 2 also goes to 10, and 2 is all indeed a factor of 10. 3 goes to 9, and 3 is indeed a factor of 9, and 4 goes to 8, and 4 is indeed a factor of 8. So we can say, yeah, A is correct, but should we read the other answers? X is less than y. So if that was the case, 2 would also go to 9, but you realize that 2 only goes to 8 and 10, because 2 is indeed less than 9, and 3 would also go to all the numbers, and the 4 would go to all the numbers. But that's not the relationship that is being described. C says x is a multiple of y. That is definitely not the case. If you don't know what multiple is, now is the time to look it up before you go into the exam. And D says x is greater than y. I think that should be than y, but that is also not the case. So therefore answer is A, x is a factor of y. 47. If f of x is equal to that equation, then f of negative 5 is equal to, so what we'll be doing is, wherever in this equation that you see x, you'll replace it with negative 5, then solve the equation. So it's f of negative 5. So f of is equal to x squared, which is 5 squared, minus x, which is minus negative 5, minus 1. So it's equal to 5 squared is 25, negative times a negative is a positive, so it becomes positive 5 minus 1. 25 plus 5 give you 30, minus 1, so it's 30 minus 1 to give us 29. So 47, B is our answer. So 48. Which of the following diagrams best illustrate a function? So remember, with functions, the one that the arrow is coming from is the domain, and one that it's going to is the range. So it's domain, 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 and range, 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 range. So members of the domain only has one output. So therefore, these domain, only one arrow must be coming from each of these domains. So once there is more than one arrow coming from a domain figure or a domain element, it is not a function. So therefore, using that, A is not a function as 2 arrows are coming from this middle element. B is not a function as 2 arrows are coming from this last element. C is not a function as 2 arrows are coming from this middle element. And D is a function as only 1 arrow is coming from each element in the domain. So that's just an easy way of looking at it. So our answer is D. So D is the function that we are looking for, and we got our correct marks, and we are moving on to 49. The median of the set of numbers above is, so remember guys, with median you always rearrange your numbers from either highest to lowest or lowest to highest, biggest to smallest, smallest to largest, and you rearrange the numbers and then find the middle numbers. Remember, median is looking for the middle number. So in this case, our answer is A, which is 5. If there were 2 numbers in the middle, you find the mean or the average. You add them both, then divide it by 2. So 50, the diagram above shows a graph. If A, B, and C are constants, the equation for the graph would be, so looking at this graph, you should remember from your notes that this graph represents a quadratic graph. So the equation I'm looking for must resemble equation for quadratic functions and graphs, and that would be D, which is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So it's equation for quadratic functions and graphs. So 51, which of the following sets is represented by the relation f of x is equal to x squared plus 3? So remember, coordinates are always written x coordinates first, then y. In this case, it would be x, so bracket x, y. So all these first numbers are x, the second ones are y. So first one's x, second one y. X, y, x, y. So it's x squared, so it's, let's start with a. So x squared, 0 squared is 0, plus 3 gives us 3. So that's correct. 1 squared is 1, plus 3 gives us 4. 2 squared is 4, plus 3 gives us 7. And 3 squared is 9, plus 3 gives us 12. So A looks like it is the answer, but let me just check the others. 0 squared is 0, plus 3 gives us 3. Then 1 squared, 1 plus 3 gives us 4, so B is already out of it. 0 squared for C, 0 plus 3 gives us 3, but then 1 squared, so 1 plus 3 gives us 4, and then 2 squared is 4, plus 3 gives us 7. This says 5, so C is definitely our answer. And we can see that D is also not the answer, so 51 remains A. So 52, a boat was traveling on a bearing of 270 degrees. In what direction is it traveling? So guys, remember the bearing. So it is north, south, east, and west. So let's just say it's north, south, and then east and west. And if you remember with degrees, so this is a 90-degree angle. So right here is 0 degrees, and right here 90. And should we add another 90 to this, then right here becomes 180, and right here would be 270. And we don't have to go any further, but we can see that if a bearing of 270 degrees is used, the boat was traveling in the westward direction. So our answer for 52 is A. Haha. They can't trick us. So we're moving along. So 53, what is the measure of the angle BAC? So you should remember, guys, how to construct angles. So from looking at it, you can easily identify what the answer is. But in this case, what they did was open a compass to more than half and draw an arc from above A to cut the line, and then put the compass on B to make another arc that cut the first arc that was drawn, and that point is C. Then connect C to A with ruler, and that is your 60 degrees angle. So the line, then the first arc, then you put the compass on B to cut to make another arc, and this point where they intersect is C. We connect C to A, and this represents a 60 degrees angle. So that is our answer for 53. 54, ship sailed 8 kilometers due east from A to B. So it's 8 kilometers. So this should be 8. So whatever we're looking for, this line should be 8, and it is due east, so it's going in this direction. And then sailed 6 kilometers north due to C, so it will be going up. So this couldn't be the answer. This couldn't be, as it should be going A to B, and then from B to sail 6 kilometers. So that is not our answer. B is not our answer either. C is not our answer, as this is sailing south and the question says that it sailed north. So the only one that represents that is D, and that is our answer. 55. In each of the diagrams shown below, this A prime is the image of A. Which of the diagrams shows a reflection in the x-axis? So remember, this y-axis, this is our x-axis. This looks like a perfect reflection. So right there and then I could say the answer is A, but let me just go down to check the other answers that follow. B, this is not a reflection, because remember, reflection is like you're looking at a mirror, so whatever that is on one side must be the same thing that is on the opposite side. So this is not a reflection. This is definitely not a reflection, more so a rotation, and this is a reflection in the y-axis, and the question asks for a reflection in the x-axis. So therefore 55 remains as A. 56. How many triangles congruent to triangle ADE would be needed to cover the rectangle ABCD entirely? So we're using the formula area for triangle equal half base times height and the base would be 1, 2. This question is also work on the 2013 paper, and the height would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the other 6. So it would equal to, area is equal to half times the base, which is 2, times the height, which is 6, and that would equal to 6. So 2 here cancel 2 is just with the 6. So our answer for 56 is C. So 57, the length in centimeter of AB is. So Pythagorean theorem tells us that the relationship in every right angle is A square plus B square equal to C square. So we're making now C square the subject of the formula. So it is C square is equal to the square root of A square plus B square. And this is what is shown at the hypotenuse. So what B therefore is, so since we have A already, A square, and that will also give it as the adjacent in the on the triangle. So therefore B square is equal to 16, and B therefore is equal to the square root of 16. So B is equal to 4, and therefore 57A is our answer. So it's just about understanding and knowing our different theories, guys, and everything will be, it's okay, it's all right. So 58, the triangle LMN above is rotated clockwise direction about L through an angle of 90 degrees. What is its image? So it is rotated about L. So therefore L will remain stationary, and we're moving, coming around, guys, moving 90 degrees. So therefore N will be somewhere here and M will be, so this will be L, N, and M, and the only one that represents that is B. So we do not even have to look any further than B for 58. 59. In the diagram above, if the line y equal x is rotated anticlockwise about O through 90 degrees, what is its image? So this y equal x is rotated 90 degrees anticlockwise, so therefore it will end up at this point. It's a Cartesian plane. If you know the signs for a Cartesian plane, so right here x will become negative, so therefore y is equal to negative x, and 59 is D. And 60, the diagram above not drawn to scale shows the angle of depression of a point X from Z is 30 degrees. If X is 10 meters from Y, the height of YZ in meters is, so this was also worked on the 2013 and 2005 paper. So therefore, guys, go and check out those two links there in the description below. But just for summary, and tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tan is equal to opposite over adjacent. So tan 30, which is the angle given, so right here would be 30. So this is the 30 that we're speaking of, and not this 30 right here. So tan 30 is equal to YZ divided by 10, making YZ the subject of the formula. So 10 tan 30 is equal to YZ, and A is our answer. So thank you for listening, thank you for paying attention, thank you for going on this journey with us again, and please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.